Known and valued by God. Matthew 10:29-39. Are not sparrows sold for a penny? And not one of them will fall to the ground apart from your Father. But even the very hairs on your head are numbered. Fear not, therefore, you are of more value than many sparrows. In ancient Israel, sparrows were sold so cheaply and often were sold as a bundle. The poorer of the poor who could not afford the sacrifice could buy sparrows at a penny. See how so cheap, so incognito sparrows are, yet none of them falls to the ground without the notice of the Father. If the Father pays deeper attention to the cheapest creatures, how much more to the human beings created in His own very image? If He cares for the little sparrows, He has just made a statement, I have got you covered. The Hebrew word that best describes you is imago Dei, meaning in the image of God. See how much strength and potential you carry within. No matter what challenges may come our way, you are God's image, resilient, capable, filled with unique gifts and skills that this world badly needs. Don't be afraid to dream so big. That's part of who you are. In the image of God, you have been wired and built. Every individual matters, and whatever they do matters. You have a role to play in the universe, and your existence makes a difference. Your value is not in the length of the days you will live, but in the impact you'll make. Your value will be in the donation of your life, not the duration of your life. You are of more value than many sparrows. Verse 30. But even the very hairs on your head are numbered. Science proves that humans have about 100,000 hair follicles, which makes us to have about 100,000 hairs in estimation on our head. Depending on the hair quality, your hair has a capacity to grow to about 6 inches per year. Assuming every human has 100,000 hairs, from 8 billion people, God is in charge of 800 trillion hairs. He's just making a statement. If I can take care of 800 trillion hairs, I have got you covered. Fear not, therefore, you are known by God. There are days He seems to have forgotten us. There are seasons He seems to be distant. There are times we hear Him working in the neighborhood, and we hear them celebrating new promotions, taking their kids abroad for school. And we seem as if He has forgotten us. Fear not, you are still known by God. Sometimes we complain that, why me? Why does the pain and bad luck happen to me? God smiles and says, whom do you suggest this to happen to? It's not you alone. Several people in the world are going through the same pain. Be encouraged, you're still in good company. Verse 32-33, Jesus encourages bold public identification with Him, that whoever acknowledges me before men, I'll acknowledge him before my Father. Someday when we appear before God, our bold stand for Him on the earth will be our acceptance before the Father. Andrew the Apostle was crucified on an X-shaped cross in Greece for refusing to renounce Jesus Christ. William Tyndale was executed in 1536 for translating for us the Bible from Greek to English, defying the church's control over scriptures. True boldness transcends all things. The most critical need of the church at this moment is true bold men who can die for their faith. To such, Jesus will not deny them before the Father. Do not think that I have come to bring peace on the earth but a sword, in verse 34. A sword did not mean physical violence, but division within families. In the first century Jewish culture, where family royalty was considered sacred, Jesus' word shocked the audience when He said, I have come to set a man against his father. Allegiance to Him would at times cost us our families. The verse highlights the high cost of discipleship in a culture where family unity was held so high and sacred. The gospel still today separates those who accept it from those who reject it. In verse 38, whoever does not take up his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. This is a radical call to discipleship. It means self-denial, rejecting the sinful centered nature, denying personal ambitions, comforts and desires that conflict with the will of God. The cross represents suffering, shame, and sacrifice. Carrying our cross may bring shame, pain, and loss of sacrifice, yet the eternal rewards weigh heavier than earthly gold medals. Finally, whoever finds his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life for my sake, he will find it. The paradox here is losing to gain. True life is not found in keeping, but in surrendering it all to Jesus. A songwriter made it. Take me, mold me, use me, walk beside me. I give my life to the potter's hand. This is what I call losing your life in the potter's hand. Jim Elliot was such a young missionary, fresh from Wheaton Bible School. In his studies, he was fascinated by missions to rural, unreached places of the world. Not many days later, he heard about a remote village in Ecuador, a tribe of Mukayan, very primitive, hostile place. On 8th January 1956, Jim took his 4 friends to a deadly mission. He was asked if he did not fear, and he said, "He is not a fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain what he cannot lose." These were words of losing life for the sake of Christ. And on 8th January 1956, Jim and his 4 friends were speared to death in cold blood in Ecuador on Palm Beach. That time, the tribe won because the gospel was only preached to a few people. But years later, Elizabeth Elliot and other 4 widows took again the gospel to Ecuador, and all the village got saved due to the power of forgiveness. He is not a fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain what he cannot lose. Today, Ecuador has about 93.7 Christians, people following Jesus Christ. Finally, the church was built on the blood of martyrs, not on human strength. The blood of martyrs waters the soils of revival. Martyrs shook the world with their blood more than their words. In summary, we are known, valued by God more than sparrows. Take up your cross and follow him, he who loved you. And when death knocks at your door, be ready to shake the world with your blood more than never before. Thank you for listening. Patrick, Living Word Community Gap.